Actually, more like 25. They've made it known that they would prefer tax-free 25% or more tips. So we will adjust accordingly. So what's going on? Also, let me remind you, no droids, no bounty hunters, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no Acolyte fans or Trashlight, no Andor fans at all. This is for Star Wars, not wokeification central. So anyway, now waiting for people to show up. Weird. And I know it's public. Huh. I'm wondering. There's one of you. All right. There's somebody in the chat. Welcome in the chat. Great. No trolling. If you troll, you're banned. All right. If you want to start a fight with somebody in the chat or with me, you're banned. I don't put up with juvenile behavior. Hey Baz, how you doing? So I want to talk a little bit about D23. Now, as you know, I'm not like the regular YouTuber. I don't either follow the herd or, get into the delusional sheepthink that so many of the big YouTubers do because they want to be cool for each other. They don't, I can't remember who said it, but if you're worried about what other people think, you become their slave. Okay? All right. And most of the time, everything you're afraid of, and this goes for fearing woke Star Wars anymore, it's all in your imagination. And trust me, I'm pretty sure that there's more than one big YouTuber on either side of the fight that knows how to manipulate people's fears. All right, I don't do that. I look at the numbers. Today Disney stock is up to 92 and it closed under 89. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Right when the proxy battle was fervently going on, it was at $123 a share. And then it went like that. So they're not doing very well. But let's talk about D23. Now I did an upload today about it, but I want to talk a little bit more in depth. If you go to the D23, this year's D23 Fan Fest thing, con, Daniel Logan, who played a young Boba Fett, gets has like a panel on the backstage, on the backlot stage. There's a to be announced panel starring or with under the auspices of Disney Entertainment. And I explained that to you guys because I don't think I'm pretty sure none of the big channels do this. Disney Entertainment is a division that was created last year, 2023, by Bob Iger, and the co-chairmen are Dana Walden and Alan Bergman, and it combines all the studios. Disney Studios, Disney Animation, Pixar, Fox Studios, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. So they're having it to be announced panel, all right? And it's the only place I can think of where they might be bringing up the next Star Wars TV show, maybe Mandalorian and Grogu. But it's really the only, because there aren't any other panels. I thought there would be a panel about, I think, Attack of the Clones or Phantom Menace. Nothing. And I swear to God, I saw one a while back. Hey, Dave, how you doing? So you're kind of like scratching your head going, what's going on here? We've got a whisper campaign that was started inside Lucasfilm, attacking Skeleton Crew, and the fans aren't buying it. Jason Ward tried to put it out there, Bedpan Bulletin, and look, I'm sorry if I jump to conclusions, but when there's something is going to be good, and you get a rumor from inside Lucasfilm they're worried about Skeleton Crew, why? And you see where it's coming from. It's coming from people who went on Wikipedia and made up vicious, racist garbage. Hey, Planet Musk, about Kelly Marie Tran. All right, I'm talking Jason Ward. You're talking about people who've done their best to run people like us off. They're not going to. All right. Disney needs my money. doesn't need to pay you people. We're talking about people who work for Lucasfilm, who, before The Last Jedi came out, started brazenly attacking fans, treating them like shit on what used to be Twitter, etc. And I'll get to, if I remember Carlos, I'll get to it. Starting a rumor that Lucasfilm wasn't happy with Skeleton Crew. The fans reacted. This is from Fiction Horizon, but I was one of the fans that reacted. It's like, might this be sour grapes that no one liked The Acolyte? Might this be because you people that have decided not to like it don't see identity politics in it? I mean, we're not going to get an Olympics Last Supper bacchanalia thing going on with it, and it makes you all mad. I think that's probably it. Because it's the usual suspects on that side. Now, one YouTuber, the insurance salesman Valerie, who hangs out with the failed travel agent and the guy who thinks he's James O'Keefe, and Catherine Herridge, or jumped on this with, I know, the stupid look on his face with his SIG hat on and everything. And it's like, look, dude, you could ask, why are they saying this? Instead of taking these cocksuckers at their word. And I'm going to say this. That guy was never a Star Wars fan. That guy also, I wouldn't take financial advice from him if God himself said, Stephanie, in order to get through the narrow gate, the eye of the needle, which is what? All right, if you go up to a city like Jerusalem, thank you. You go up to a city like Jerusalem back in the old days, they had these big gates. There was a pedestrian gate to the side. That was called the eye of the needle. So when you hear people, when Jesus said, it is easier for a camel to fit through the eye of the needle, he wasn't talking about a literal needle. He was talking about that gate, that pedestrian gate. Okay. I still wouldn't take financial advice from the insurance salesman because he doesn't know anything about Hollywood and he's not a Star Wars fan. He's decided, all these people decided that bashing this franchise and bashing Disney, first off, they think it empowers them. Second of all, they think if they burn it all down, that they'll get what they want. It's like, no, you won't. That's stupid. And of course, they get to feel powerful and finally I'm popular. Okay, whatever. This guy didn't look at who posted that. He didn't look at where it came from. He didn't reach out and ask questions about, do you think this is true or not? He jumped on it to make money. And, he's basically serving Pablo Hidalgo's purpose. But look, you go on X, and you're a former politico like I am, and you see people saying, on our side, saying stupid shit like, I don't know why Mike Johnson doesn't do something. You're like, did you actually vote for your Republican congressman and Republican Senate candidate? I mean, and this is for people here in Pennsylvania. If we had voted for Dr. Oz, I voted for Dr. Oz. Now, do I like the guys that much? No. But I will say this. We would have a Republican vote in the Senate. We would have a reliable Republican vote. But we barely won the House majority. We've chased out one speaker, which I think in the long run ended up being a good idea. But what exactly? I'm looking at the Constitution, looking at the separation of powers, looking at all the articles in it. Where does it say the speaker has the power to do anything more than what he's been granted by the Constitution? They have nothing to say back because they don't know what the speaker's job is. All right. See, I'll give you this. This is why these people drove me fucking crazy when I worked in DC. They didn't know what their congressman did day to day. And a lot of them would be like, I just found out, blah, 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 was my congressman. I'm like, aren't you the well-educated voter that Thomas Jefferson dreamed of? So we're kind of dealing, I think, with the fandom, with the say, no, Kevin, it's not, so fuck off. Okay, where the fuck did you hear that? What, from WW Pro? Do you know what he did to my friend Cameron? You asshole. He came on this chat and threatened him. Okay, so if he says something to you or you hear this gay ass shit from one of these weasels, you should ask yourself, why would they do that? Why? They're not talking about it anywhere. The only person who is Leslie fucking Headland. And she's only going to fan sites like, the Fat Mary fucking Sue, IndieWire, I think, and some other ones, and the Nerdist. And she's the only one who said, well, if they do, they're not going to. They are going to memory hole it like they did Willow, okay? Ahsoka was doing better, you dumb son of a bitch. And Andor was already deemed to be over at season 2. But you would obviously not understand that. So why don't you leave? Okay? They're not going to give this piece of shit a season 2. I know that you hate Star Wars and that you want to see it burn down because you imagine, I don't know, Kathleen Kennedy, the alleged president of Lucasfilm, has like the power of God or something, because somebody like Drunk 3PO or WDW Pro, that fag, said that. Are you insane? Look, the rules are you come here, you don't troll. And as far as I'm concerned, Kevin, you're a fucking troll. Okay? So you can leave. There. All right. People that come on here and say shit like that, they want, look, Seneca said, I think it was Seneca that said, your imagination gives rise to worries that aren't real. All right. Kevin, because he's probably a follower of Nerdrotic or one of the other grifters out there, came in here to say that to undermine what you guys know to be true. All right. It's like Kamala Harris raised $100 million and is now even with Trump. No, she's not. She's not. That money, all right, the Virginia Attorney General is now investigating Act Blue for basically stealing money from people. All right, making donations in people's names that had no idea they made donations. All right, first off, do you know who actually was the person to uncover that? James O'Keefe. Okay, so if you believe that it's going to have a second season, you're a moron. You're probably have an IQ of like lower than Forrest Gump. You're probably from some southern state. Your parents are probably related. You know, your dad is your uncle. And Uncle Dad. And you probably don't know shit about how the world works. Okay? Yeah, he would. I mean, it's like, look, you can't have rational discussions with any of them. Like when Star Wars Theory went and had a conversation with, or watched the Headland Fat Mary Sue video and made a video, you know, basically ripping them apart. The girl that interviewed Headland freaked her shit out. Okay, freaked her shit out at him. And it's like, because you were called out. Now, I've got that video uploaded, or downloaded on my phone. Baz got it for me because I wanted to do one like that. And I thought, no. I decided not to, at least right now. And it's really interesting to me. Watching that video, first off, if you want to protect your IQ points, don't watch it. Second of all, it was like watching two fat women, two fat miserable cat ladies, to quote J.D. Vance, making everybody else miserable around them. All right? And, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, but look, if you're WDW Pro, if you're any of those guys, are you going to scratch your head and say, renewing this show would not make any sense? Willow had better numbers. Willow is gone. Okay. What makes sense is, well, first off, apologizing to people who said, hey, wait a minute. How can they do that? Okay. People who look at stock prices, people who look at viewership, people who look at fan backlash. 17% Rotten Tomatoes is not good. Have no fucks to give what the excuses are for either the Pablo Hidalgo flying monkeys on the left or the far right nutbags, the Phantom Menace. Okay, it makes no sense. All right, it is. Both sides are completely fucking irrational. All right, go back to the interview that Rachel What's-Her-Face had, or I think that's Rebecca, Rachel, whatever her stupid ass name is, had with Harvey's former personal assistant. They're the stupidest, most ignorant two fat broads I have ever come across in my life. I am not kidding. I am not. It's like, okay, that's all you can do. You know, And when Headland goes on Nerdist, she goes to IndieWire, she goes to some of these fan websites and brags that about Darth Plagueis. That's not an official site. Look, this is just like Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy running around on running around on everywhere she can find to say she has a Star Wars movie when Bob Iger in the first earnings call mentioned The Acolyte, which made me go, what the fuck? And Mando and Grogu. Didn't mention the Rey movie, right? Kennedy never mentioned it in her only fucking interview at Dodger Stadium. And she had to be reminded of The Acolyte, all right? You know, she's nowhere to be seen since then. I wanted to say this. Her husband is in Malta filming Jurassic World, or what's your Jurassic 5 or whatever it's going to be. Is she with him? You know, because this is the usual time. They're usually off in Europe. So they're filming a movie right now. You know, we don't know what they're going to announce at D23, but the backlot stage is not the big. When they do Disney Legends, Harrison Ford's going to be honored. When they do Disney Legends, that's going to be on at the big convention center. And there are other main stages at D23. The back lot stage is not, I mean, it is and it's not. And who's going to walk out? Because look, this is my theory. If it's Dana Walden and Alan Bergman walking out together because they are the co-heads of Disney Entertainment, they take care of TV and the films. They walk out, who's going to walk out with them? Kevin Feige? Yeah. Head of Pixar? Yeah. The head of Disney Animation? Yeah. The head of Fox? Yeah. The head of the Walt Disney Studios? Yeah. All right. Who for Lucasfilm? Is Kennedy going to be there? Now, she could be, and whatever. It would be my hope, though I don't think they would do this, and it would be mind-blowing if they did, if she walks out and announces she's retiring in October. Jon Favreau is the interim head of Lucasfilm while they look for a permanent replacement. I mean, you know, how many people would shut up? It would shut up Jason Ward and Pablo and the rest of that subhuman garbage on the left. It would shut the black pills right up. They'd have nothing to say. The narrative goes back to where it belongs, in the hands of the good people that are still there at Lucasfilm. See, my problem with any mob mentality, which is what we've got on the Phantom Menace, is there's a lack of common sense and critical thinking. Like this Kevin Dirtbag shows up and says, well, they're going to improve it for a second season. Urgh. No, they're not. Why? Just coming in here to be a fucking gay-ass troll. All right? Probably earning his EBN, you know, knee pads or some shit, or Pablo Hidalgo knee pads. All right? It's just very sad that we can't, on the side that hates Kennedy, the side that hates the woke shit, cannot be united because these people need to make money and they don't know what they're talking about. And when they are called out, if they are called out, they get pissed off. And instead of going, I don't understand this point, can you explain it to me? They get pissed off at you and blame you. It's like, you guys over on the left, you guys over on the far right, all fucking deserve each other, okay? It's just amazing to me, and of course, this rump ranger that showed up talk shitty about Ahsoka. Ahsoka actually did quite fucking well. All right, I mean, what was Valiant Renegade, commenting on that thing's ratings? Was he using Samba TV? Samba TV doesn't give you the right numbers. Nielsen does. Okay, and Disney was perfectly happy with Ahsoka's numbers. When you've got Matt Bellany on a podcast talking about the bad rating numbers for The Acolyte and where does Star Wars go from here, that's what you pay attention to. You don't pay attention to these fanboys who've never been successful at anything in their lives, who are not telling you what to think. You don't. Okay? Yeah, it's like, why? And then, run me off, run Cameron off, run other people off, because how dare you question their narrative? All right, because the worse it gets, because that's the way they built their channels. My channel grew up. It was started in 2017, but it started blowing up after The Last Jedi. Their channels, I mean, look, I can name so many that suddenly appeared after The Last Jedi came out. They were built on rage. And what does that get you? That's get you, Kathy Kennedy crying about how mean the fans are to her. Why would you want to keep that up? Look, there has to be an adult in the room on the fandom side, and there aren't any. All right, at least on the far right side. It gets you nothing. Okay, and late 2019, I looked at the world and said there has to be, and all the problems, there has to be a solution. Okay, here's the thing. The left creates problems so they can pretend they can have a solution. The far right looks at problems and just wants to sit and complain about it. People like me just go, okay, we have a problem, let's fix it. Instead of admiring it, you people over there. Okay, but see, if the problem gets solved, both sides disappear. Okay, they have nothing to bitch about. That's the problem. It's the same with politics. It's the same with, both parties when Trump got elected the first time. The Republican Party did not know what to do with itself. All right. Because problems started to get solved. All right. Problems started to get solved. And Washington, D.C. is a broken town that only exists not only to take taxpayer money to make problems bigger or to create problems, but then they turn around and say, we can solve it for you. All right. The Phantom Menace doesn't want Star Wars fixed. They don't. They can sit there and say they want it, but why, when they've got money, they've got popularity, they've got power, they think, why would they want it fixed? And these guys on the left, they want their cult-like religion of social justice bullshit to change the world. And it's like, you know why there's a backlash against the Acolyte, against the sequel trilogy, against Andor, is because they ceased being about Star Wars. They ceased being escapist, and that's not good storytelling. All right, they started being the Dalton Trumbo school of left-wing propaganda. All right, and it's like, look, you're not going to make money at this because the American people all over the world won't buy it. They will not go to the movies. They will not upload a subscription to Disney Plus to watch this garbage. They won't buy the merchandise. Okay. All right. They won't. Sorry to break it to you. All right. That's the problem. That's where these guys on the right have it right. However, them telling you without any proof beyond Leslie Headland going the Charmaine Obaid Chinoy path, saying, well, they could renew it. We're talking about it. That doesn't mean it's renewed. That means that fathead, the Lego action figure, is hoping it gets renewed. Okay, she's hoping. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to the people, hoping that it gets renewed, so they have something to scream about, and Gary, can keep doing his Star Wars' dead drinking game. You've got these people ignoring D23. Where is the Andor season 2, the final season of Andor? Where's the Andor final season 2 panel? Where's the Skeleton Group panel? Where's Disney? Where's Lucasfilm leadership? Nowhere. Marvel has a ton. Pixar has a ton. Lucasfilm, 0. All right. It's like, you kind of go, what's going on here? Well, I mean, I would think if everything was hunky-dory, like, Pro and his fake channel of, unsuccessful nerdlingers, I would think they would know, because they say everything's hunky-dory. Okay, then where's Star Wars? Where are they talking about the Indiana Jones video game? It's a very subdued, quiet time. Why? Well, I have been told by certain people that are in cahoots or in contact with Sparrow that they're laying low because The Acolyte was so bad. Poorly received, poorly made, the worst fan fiction ever made. I mean, the worst fan film Jon Favreau's ever seen. Why would a guy, the guy that created Iron Man and started the Marvel Cinematic Universe, why wouldn't he say that? Okay, it's like, why does the narrative only go one way? And that is to serve the voracious, greedy appetites of the big channels. Okay, and they're now, Valiant Renegade is now parroting Jason Ward without going, that rumor came from a well-known lying sack of shit who, under shady circumstances, got called out over strange dealings with underage girls and pulled some shit that got him divorced from his wife, which I can't talk about, but I know what he did. Why? Because they're the same kind of person. They're the exact same kind of person. All right? Look, honest to God, if you honestly think that these guys care about how woke something is. And I mean the big channels. They don't. They get you all riled up and your imagination set on nuclear to believe all the bullshit that comes out of their heads. Look, half of them make shit up off the top of their head. Why would you believe that? Why would anybody? These are the questions we need to have answered because they're very important. Okay, it's very important. We ask them questions. Why, why doesn't Cameron come on Midnight Edge anymore? Why do you guys think that when this story about Lucasfilm being upset about the Skeleton Crew came from somebody like Jason, nefarious, vile, cockroach, if you can flip over a lot of rocks. You'll never find anything slimier than making Star Wars. You just won't. Okay. And I mean, none of them are nice people. I've come to that conclusion. If you have a big Star Wars channel or you've been well known in the community for leaking and you've caused trouble in the fandom, whereas you've been divisive, you've attacked fellow fans for having a minor disagreement, you've said racist bully ass shit to people. I'm talking about certain people. You've gone on people's Facebook pages to degrade and mock them, and you've never done anything in your life, and they're working in Hollywood. What, gives these people the right to think they can do that? Look, if you worry about what they think, you are their slave, right? That's why I'm like, fuck you all of you. On both sides, go fuck yourselves equally. And the reason why is because, again, they are the same people. They are the exact same kind of nefarious, greedy, prideful jackassery that the world is full of right now. All right. One side wants to make money. The other side just wants to manipulate the news. So A, they get what they want. And B, they can fuck with people. All right. Because they're power hungry jackasses. And so is the other side, honestly. Okay. So why aren't they, why isn't, why aren't the big channels asking where's Star Wars at D23? Where is it? Because I am. Why is it, and they need to ask, why is it only Leslie Headland talking about the Acolyte? No one else is. No one at Lucasfilm except for Simon Emanuel, who is, Kennedy's gay right-hand man. No one is talking about it. Okay, no one. I mean, it's Simon Emanuel, that was it, and then he stopped. And, what's her face? Amanda Stenberg had a freak out, posted a racist anti-fan song on her Instagram, and then she disappeared. She hasn't said anything. Why? Because it's done. They're not going to talk about it because it's done. It did not get the ratings that Willow got. Yet here we are. All right. And D23's Star Wars footprint is that big. Unless we have someone walk out on the stage at the to be announced panel, Disney Entertainment Division, and it's Favreau, Kennedy herself, somebody, okay? Now, you could hope that she's announcing her resignation or retirement. I doubt it, but there's always a chance. Okay. The world looks to be in a fucked up place right now, right? I mean, it does. However, when you look around and you see people rising up to say enough of this shit, hey, Mike, it should make everybody feel better about where everything's going. Don't you think? All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go see Kay, and then I gotta go get something for dinner. So, you guys, hey Watts, dude, I'm hanging it up right now because I gotta go see my horse. You guys have a good day. Have a good Monday evening, and pray. The light is at the end of the tunnel. All right, and if someone says something stupid like, they're gonna do a thieving too, why would they? Just ask them that. Why would they? Right. Gotta go. I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Let's say something here. Just one moment. All right. Bye, guys.